very much. Yeah, welcome back to the show. We have more toast, ladies and gentlemen. Has anybody been hurt yet with flying toast? All right, careful. It's red hot, and if you have a piece already, pass it back. The poor guy is wearing toast. Our next guest is a talented writer, producer, and performer. This man was a founding member of Monty Python's Flying Circus, and he has a brand new film out soon called A Fish Called Wanda. Folks, please welcome back to this program, John Cleese, ladies and gentlemen. John Cleese. So terribly good to see you again. Thank you for being here.
David, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. This is the stupidest show I've... Another 5 years, you should get a Nobel Prize for this. It's magnificent.
That's darn decent of you to say. How you been?
I've been good. I've been good.
Were you in town for the 4th of July?
When was that?
Let's see. It was we celebrated it Monday.
Monday?
Yeah.
Monday. Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, I thought there was a lot of gunplay, you know, for New York on a Monday night.
Yeah. Even for New York, a lot of it.
Even for New York, yeah.
Now, does that holiday, I guess, means nothing to you, does it?
No, we don't celebrate Independence Day in England. No, we... Mind you, we celebrate the day before.
Yeah.
We celebrate Dependence Day.
I see.
Yeah, we have these models of Thomas Jefferson and John Hancock, you know, in effigy, and we jeer them. We say, "Isn't it about time you came a little bit more independent?" That kind of thing.
I see. Are there actually people living over there who from generation to generation have had a grudge passed down to them and are still walking around holding it against the Americans for...
Oh, I think so.
Really?
Yes, not as much as against the French, who are our natural enemies. You know, been fighting them for 1,000 years. Yeah. The two events of this century being mere aberration in this pattern. Yeah. No, we hate the French, basically. And if we have to fight anyone, I'd say let's fight the French.
All right, good. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
What other holidays are there in Great Britain that we wouldn't have
that you don't have here? Yeah. We have National Apology Day, when everyone apologizes to everyone that they haven't apologized to in the previous 12 months, or anyone that they haven't apologized to sufficiently in the previous 12 months.
What day is that?
That is August the 74th.
74th of August?
Yes, because we're still on the old calendar,
I see,
as you know. And then we have another holiday. I don't know if you have this holiday in America, but we have a very special day. It's called summer.
It's one day.
It's the one day, and people go out and sunbathe even if there's snow on the ground.
I see.
You know, we really enjoy it.
And so summer is a one-day holiday.
It's just the one day.
Oh,
it's usually on the day that they play the Wimbledon men's final.
I see. Yeah.
Yes.
Anything else? Any?
Well, you know we're great animal lovers.
Sure.
I mean, I don't know. I think we take it even... I mean, it's because the English are very embarrassed all the time, as you know, and don't really want to be around people anymore.
Now, is that true? Do you
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
And what
they much prefer animals.
Well, what does that come from?
Embarrassment.
Yeah, I know, but how does it become ingrained in these people?
Embarrassment. Well, when you grow up as a baby, everyone around you is very embarrassed the whole time. You know, saying, sorry, sorry, excuse me, I'm being embarrassed, but I'm very sorry about it. And it's simply, it gets conditioned at a very early stage.
Reinforced, sure.
Yeah, and if the English want something like a piece of toast, I wouldn't say, may I have a piece of toast?
Right.
I would say, sorry.
You would start out by
I would say sorry.
Yeah.
And then I would say, I wouldn't say, please pass me the toast. I would say, I wonder if I could be so very bold as to suggest that you might be so good as to consider the possibility that you might, in due course, possibly see your way clear to being so very good as to pass me a slice of toast.
I see. Yeah.
Yes. Could I, in fact, have a slice of toast? Sure. Thank you.
This is not toasty warm.
Oh, that's very good. Do you have anything to...
yeah, we have a little...
The cigar would be good. No, fine. Very good. Then what other holidays do we... Oh, yes, because we love animals so much, and it's become an absolute obsession in this country, being so nice to animals, that most people felt that the whole thing has gone far too far in the wrong direction. So one day of the year, we actually have a national day for being cruel to animals.
A day where You're actually cruelty to animals is encouraged.
It's not encouraged. I mean, some people crucify gerbils, which I think is taking it far too far. On the whole, it's just sort of giving exploding cuttlefish to parrots and...
Exploding cuttlefish?
Yeah. And pruning hedgehogs.
I see. How is that?
Very good.
Oh, good. By the way, that's included in your room. I hope you enjoyed that. We have to do station identification. We'll be back here with John Cleese. John Cleese is with us, and this half-hour comedian Alan Havey will be joining us tomorrow. Jay Leno, singer K.D. Lang, and art teacher Connie Gordon.
All right.
Art teacher Connie Gordon will be here. That's tomorrow night. Now, you were jesting, I'm guessing, about the pets. I can't imagine you really encouraging people to be nasty to pets. You have pets of your own?
No. My uncle had a sloth, which he liked, because he was so obedient. Oh. Yes, he used to say, stay, and it would stay for months.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, and his aunt eventually bred them because she wanted to introduce sloth racing. That was for people who found cricket too exciting.
Yeah. Doesn't it sometimes take days to finish a cricket, what do they call them? They're not...
Yes, you're quite right.
What are they called? They're not matches. Are they matches?
Yes, you won't believe this.
What is a test match?
A test match is a game that we play against one of the other countries like Australia, New Zealand, Pakistan. Right. And these, West Indies are the best team. And these matches, you won't believe this, they go on for 5 days. Yeah. And then at the end of the 5 days, they're very often a tie.
Now, do people turn out for these events?
In their thousands.
Is that right?
Yeah. It's a very weird game, and I know that Americans can't really understand it because I used to know the England captain, and he said it's the only game that's ever been invented where the adrenaline cannot run the whole time, which is an understatement.
I would think so, yeah.
But it's more a kind of cultural phenomenon than
But is it still thriving and flourishing? Are the youth of Great Britain eager to grow up to be cricket stars?
That's right. And then after a time, a few years ago, they decided that people were beginning to lose interest in these 5-day games, so they now pack all the action into these special 1-day games.
Shortened down to about 12 hours.
Yes, that's right.
Let's talk about the movie, A Fish Called Wanda.
Yeah.
Speaking of fish.
Speaking of fish.
Yeah. What is, tell us about this.
Well, it depends. You see, I think it's about this dashing, sexy, very attractive, rather suave English barrister who finishes up with $20 million and Jamie Lee Curtis. But Jamie thinks it's about this very brilliant girl who has 4 men in love with her who finishes up the money. And Kevin Kline thinks it's about this fish-eating, Buddhist, psychopathic ex-CIA operative who gets run over by a steamroller. Michael Palin thinks it's about this animal rights activist and hitman who finishes up killing a grandmother, has a bad stutter. But... Well, it's about lust, greed, murder, revenge, and seafood.
So it sounds like a hit there.
Well, there's a lot of fish in it. We claim that there's more fish in this movie than any recent movie, including Jaws.
Is that right?
Well, that's by number, obviously, not by weight.
Yeah. Well, I would think that alone would be worth the price of the ticket.
I hope so.
Yeah. And there's something about, you have a genuine... Perhaps maybe not even a healthy interest in fish, don't you?
Well, I feel that fish are underrated, and the purpose of this film is to put fish on the map, because, I mean, they're great pets. I mean, for a start, they never wake you up by barking or anything like that. You always know exactly where they are, right? You never say, the fish has escaped, did somebody leave the back door up? You don't have to give them shots, you don't have to brush them.
Right.
If you forget to feed them, they just eat each other. And the great thing is...
Very rarely get run over by a car.
Absolutely. Yeah. And they don't drown.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that they can breathe underwater. Now, you see, everybody says, okay, so fish can breathe. I mean, do you know anyone who can breathe underwater? If I could breathe underwater, David, I would never stop talking about it. But, I mean, they're very smart. No, seriously, I mean, Albert Einstein couldn't breathe underwater. Right. And the Buddha, who had extraordinary control over all his physiological processes, he couldn't breathe underwater. And even our Lord, who could walk on it, couldn't inhale it.
You're right. They may be very underrated.
They are underrated.
It's,
What What does that noise mean when they go, whoop? What does that...
That grateful appreciation on their part.
They are happy?
Yeah, because, especially since they paid nothing to get in. It's a fish called Wanda. Yourself, Jamie Lee Curtis, Kevin Kline, and Michael Palin.
Michael Palin.
Yeah, so this is a great cast. I hope this is a huge hit for you, and it opens soon. When does it open?
It opens here in New York on the 15th.
Good, we'll look forward to that. Always a pleasure to see you, John.
Nice to
Thank you very much for being here. John Cleese, ladies and gentlemen. We'll do a commercial. We'll be right back. It's amazing to me that when we began the show, we were in kind of a logy, lethargic, lackluster, kind of a grumpy sort of frame of mind, and I think the audience could sense that.
Yes.
And then, wonder of wonders, we took, what was it, 8 pieces of bread, 8 slices of bread, made them toast, and now suddenly it's a party. They have mystical qualities, these bits of bread
toast.
we've toasted. Don't you believe, Paul?
Unbelievable qualities. Unbelievable.
That's right.
Qualities of wonder.
Yeah, build strong bodies. How many different ways, Paul?
Well, so many different ways. It's really ridiculous.
See what it says
so
here.
many ways.
Doesn't say. Maybe it doesn't build strong bodies anymore. Puny to mediocre bodies. Oh, so next tomorrow we'll get the strong body bread. This is only for puny to mediocre bodies.
Well, young lady.
Well,
Spit on my own desk.
you're doing some of the Nutty Professor.
A little bit, yeah. I had my chair adjusted, that's the reason.
I see.
Let's get on with the show, shall
we?
Yeah, and if later we can make toast
Okay.
if we have time.
All right. Well, you have the power to advance the show along.
That's right. Oh, I do?
Yes, you do.
All right. Our first guest is a very funny. He's usually over there, isn't he? Why is he right here? A little different tonight. Well, I think maybe someone would tell me. Kevin K., our cue card boy and my personal trainer. My first guest tonight is a very funny and talented writer and performer, a former member of Monty Python's Flying Circus, whose latest film is called A Fish Called Wanda, which will be opening soon across the country. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to this program, Michael Palin. Michael Palin. Everywhere
audience. Wow, wonderful. I feel better.
everywhere you go,
Mosquitoes. Oh, it's this heat. This New York heat. Oh.
is it a little warm for you here? Seems a little warm to me today.
Yeah, it's at least sort of 15 degrees. No, about 50 degrees warmer than England.
Yeah. Are you on vacation now? Are you working now? And if so, do you get a vacation?
I'm working now, but I'm going on a vacation when I get back.
Yeah. As a kid, did you go on a lot of vacations? Was that the big family outing for the year?
Yeah, we went every year on vacation, but we always went to the same place.
Yeah.
I mean, my father was extremely methodical man, so we always went to this same coastal resort on the coast of Norfolk. And the chief claim to fame...
Is it far from... You were born where? In London? Is that right?
No, I was born in Sheffield, in
Well,
Yorkshire, which is... Well, it's 200 miles from London.
Okay.
It's like a suburb, really. Anyway, Sheringham was a long journey, and we used to go there every year. You know, the same bit of beach, the same grains of sand, the same pebble. And the chief claim to fame of this little town, Sheringham, was that if you went directly north, there was no land between you and the North Pole. So it was freezing, and people were sort of... You'd see them on the beach in at least 3 sweaters and, you know, fur coats, mufflers, scarves, all that. I mean, you know, a lot more like carol singers than holiday makers, but it was tough, you know, and we'd stay in little guest houses where everybody sat in silence and drank soup, you know. You know, the English holiday. Morning, morning.
That's it for the day.
No, that was it for the morning, yeah. Then he'd say, in the evening, he'd say, evening, evening.
That completes the cycle.
That was about it,
Yeah.
And every now and then someone would bathe, you know. You'd never see them again, you know.
Was it,
strange, lanky men with beards and mad, staring eyes would go into the sea, you know, to conquer.
Did you have a
ice.
big family?
Medium size. No, it's my father, father, mother, sister, and
Yeah.
my mother's actually very, very small lady. She has hosted Saturday Night Live.
So
But, anyone who saw her will know she's a tiny lady. She makes Edith Piaf look like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Do these people have a sense of humor? Did you get to your
Well, it was a sort of mixture. I mean, my mother had quite a subtle sense of humor. My father's sense of humor was sort of quite basic. I remember one time he brought home to show us a fake, I'm doing this pretty, dog turd, you know. Nasty thing, beautifully made. I mean, absolutely wonderful. And British, I have to tell you, David, a British dog turd. No, not from Taiwan or anything like that. This is
homemade.
The British can make turds. Anyway, he brought home this wonderful little turd, and he said, 2 more hours?
No.
Okay, so 2 more
said
minutes.
that word 4 times.
Oh, sorry.
now.
Yes. Am I allowed to say it?
Well, no.
Okay. Well, he brought home this little brown heap of, you know, sort of dog-shaped something a dog loses after it's eaten it, you know? Anyway, and he said...
Couldn't it just be fake vomit?
You know how much fake vomit costs? We were a humble family. You couldn't just go down the shop. Oh, some fake vomit, please. That's huge, you know? He couldn't get it under his coat.
Right.
So anyway, he brought back this little, you know, dropping. And he said, well, we're going to have a little party, and he wanted my mother, halfway through the party, to discover this dog turd. Then he would come on... sorry. Oh, I used to enjoy doing the show. And he would then discover it and carry it out.
Yeah.
So the party, I just remember I was very small then, and my father had some friends in, and they had some watered-down sherry, and they were sitting there sipping this. And it was a long time into the party, and suddenly there was this shriek. Oh! Oh! From my mother, you know, really completely over the top, you know, sort of Bette Davis underplayed, but I mean, she really homed in on it, and everybody sort of turned, and the joke had completely gone, because my father just then came in, sort of picked it up, and carried it out, and her performance was so good, they thought, this is just disgusting. A man who can carry out something like that, you know, that word we cannot say, you know, so rather spoiled the story, I think.
No, it's a great story.
It's a great story.
You can't kill a story like that. It's timeless.
You should do, mate.
What? A commercial? All right, we'll do a commercial, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about your new motion picture show. Michael Palin is here. When was the first time you came to this country? How old were you and what were the circumstances?
1972. I saw more of the country in that trip than I have done since.
You came over working or just as a vacation?
No, well, it was part holiday. I came with Terry Jones, and at the end of it, we were to appear as a sort of fill-in for on the Johnny Carson show. I mean, Python wasn't known at all in the States then. So you imagine our debut was on the Johnny Carson show, and all I can remember was that we did... Well, Carson wasn't doing it. I think Joey Bishop was doing it, and he said, well, I have some guys here. So he looked at the album cover, which was... They're called Monty Python. I mean, I don't know who they are. You don't know who they are. Here they are, which is a great introduction. So we came on and we did 2 totally inappropriate sketches. The first one was, I did News for Parrots, you know. No parrots were involved in a 5-mile tailback after a smash-up on Route 101 or whatever it was, you know. And then we did a strange thing about the Python old ladies, you know. Oh, just to talk like that. Hello. Oh, we are just had to have the... I've just had to have the budget car put down. Oh, was he ill? No, just didn't like it. And, you know, I mean, they're fine tonight. They know Python. But then it was... I've never heard a silence quite like it when we did this. It was... It was the silence that had the smell of fear about
Yeah,
it.
oh, sure.
Stark fear.
No, I
It's
know.
not that these guys are not funny, it's just we are in the same studio as them, we want to get out. You could have heard, you know...
What did people say to you afterwards? Did you go over and sit down and talk to Joey Bishop then? And did he have things to say, or was that pretty much it?
he had to go. Yeah, he had to run. He had
Yeah,
to run. We
yeah.
said, Joey, hey, Joey, let's talk showbiz. But he had gone, so we talked to one of the guys, on the drivers. He talked to us for a bit. The guy in the car park, he was very nice.
Were you guys, afterwards, did it take days for the embarrassment to wear off, or were you just puzzled, or...
We were just extremely puzzled. We knew, you know, for certainty that was our last appearance ever on American television. So we went back to England. We thought, well, you know, let's try Wales. Let's conquer a country you know, of the right size, something we can cope with. Wales is a tough country.
Let's talk about your movie here. This is everybody who's seen it says it's a very funny film. A Fish Called Wanda. Yeah. And you're the what are you? You're the
I'm the romantic the romantic casualty. I play a sort of con man called Ken Pyle. He has a very bad stammer. At one point in the movie, he is the only person who has a vital piece of information, a vital clue, and he's under such pressure. He's had French fries stuck up his nose. He's
being tortured, isn't he?
He's been tortured.
Yeah.
His pet fish have been swallowed by Kevin Kline. He's strapped to a chair. He's face downwards. He's got a pear in his mouth. He's under considerable pressure, and John Cleese comes in and grabs the pear out of my mouth and tries to get me to say the vital word, where are the jewels stored? And I just can't get the word out. Yeah. So ensues relatively funny scene.
Do we have footage of this? Do we have a clip here? What?
They're all working, you know, there's been such a demand.
Yeah, that's right.
All the clips are in use.
Can't even spare a clip.
Yeah, sorry.
They're in use at theaters across the country.
We got a clip of some other movie?
That's too darn bad. Let's see, but it's opening. It's opening soon. I thought it had opened already.
Embarrassing. What?
It's opening soon.
It's opened in New York and Los Angeles and Toronto, I think, and it opens wide on the 29th.
Just getting a terrific response. People love it.
Yeah. It's an odd mixture. I mean, there's two Americans and there's sort of two Pythons, and it works rather well. It isn't a Python movie. I mean, the presence of Kevin Kline and Jamie Lee Curtis really expand the movie, and it's make John and I do things we'd never have done before. John gives a wonderful performance as a sort of romantic lead.
Yeah. That's great.
Kevin and Jamie are great.
I hope the thing's a huge success for you guys.
So do I.
Nice to see you again, Michael. Thank you very much. Roll applause at the station identification when you're coming back.